Good evening. Praise the Lord. We want to thank God for the far He has brought us. Today is the 8th day in the Lenten period, and we want to thank God so much for each and everyone who is viewing us. Be blessed as we listen to the word of God this evening. Today we are blessed to have a reading from Romans chapter 12, verse 21. And we are going to dwell at verse 21, which says, overcoming evil with good. This book was written by Paul, and I know Paul, in writing this, he knew that the Romans were living in the world, and the world was full of evil and full of evil people. In the same way, the message that Paul was writing to the Romans applies to our situation also, because we are also living in a world that is evil. We are also living among evil people. People that cause us to hate. People that cause us to fight. The world malices us in so many ways. And Paul was writing this to encourage believers. He knew that a time like this would come. And that's why this evening, Paul is also reminding us to always overcome evil with good, not to overcome evil with evil. In doing this, he talks of the areas of weaknesses that causes one to fall or slumber. In our different communities, the friends we have cause us to fall. They hate us, they envy us, and we as people also do the same, because we live in an evil world and amidst evil people. But Paul was encouraging and making people to realize that if you do evil, when someone has done evil to you and then you also retaliate with evil, you miss the mark. In other words, he wanted us to realize that going to eternity does not require us to retaliate or make evil overcome us. Instead, when someone does something wrong to us, we ought to instead do good. We see how Jesus Christ also explains this to us. When he says you have to help your enemies. A world that is evil, obviously enemies are there. But how do you handle your enemy? How do you talk to your enemy? Do you do bad because he's your enemy? No. As a believer, when your enemy is there, you ought to feed him, clothe him, provide for him, and love above all. And that's why Paul continues to tell us in Romans 12:9. He says, love must be sincere. For you to overcome evil with good, you ought to have love that is sincere, love that is complete, love that is not in pretense. When you portray love with sincerity, even your enemy will feel it and calm down and then glorify God. Paul continues to encourage us in verses 17 of Romans 12. He says, do not repay everyone with evil. Be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everybody. For one to attain eternity, for one to overcome evil with good, you have to do things that is right before everyone. The people are evil, right? They love to watch and see the works of a believer. As Christians, in this Lenten period, I urge you to always do what is perfect, to do what is good in the eyes of everyone. Do not look at your enemy, but do each and everything perfect to the glory of God before everyone. He also continues to tell us in verse 18 that live at peace with everyone. If you live in peace with everyone, then you'll be able to overcome evil. You'll be able to overcome evil with good. And this, the Lord will receive glory and honor. He also goes ahead to talk about revenge. As people who live in a community of people who are evil, we normally want to do revenge. But the Bible tells us at verse 19 that do not take revenge, but leave that room to God. It's only God who is to do the revenge. I therefore urge you, brothers and sisters, that we have to overcome evil with good. Leave everything to God. Work at the end of it. You not get it on a silver plate, but for you to attain it and have that crown of eternity, you have to work for it. That is only enmity. Today you ought to forgive your enemy, then you do good. Good by exemplary. See what to do. May the Lord